So, you want to create your portfolio website? If yes, I'm here to help you build your personal portfolio website. In this video, we'll create a simple and minimalist portfolio website using only HTML and CSS that showcases your basic introduction. We'll start with a sleek navigation bar. Alongside this, it will include a simple yet stunning introduction section with space for your bio and image. Similarly, your personal website will be fully responsive, ensuring it looks stunning on any device. To kick off our project, we'll start by setting the title tag inside our index.html file. The title tag defines the web page title, displayed in the Browser tab, and plays a key role in SEO. Next, we'll create a style.css file inside our root directory and link it to our HTML file. After that, we'll use box icons for the social media icons and the toggle button icon. Box icons are free and easy to use. We'll utilize their CDN link and add it inside the head tag. In our HTML file, we'll use the nav tag, which is essential for defining a section of navigation links. Inside the nav tag, we'll include a div with the classes portfolio container and main nav. This div will act as a wrapper for the logo and navigation links. Similarly, for our logo, we'll use an anchor tag with the class logo. Since we won't be using JavaScript for this project, we'll use an input tag with the type checkbox to toggle the navigation bar for mobile devices. We'll assign it an ID of toggle button. Later, in our CSS, we'll target the state of this checkbox to toggle the visibility of the navigation bar. Next, let's add a label for our checkbox. It's important to ensure that the for attribute in the label matches the ID assigned to the checkbox, which is toggle-btn. This connection allows the label to function as a clickable button. Likewise, we'll assign the label a class called togglerOpen. Similarly, since our label tag will serve as the toggler, we'll need to add a hamburger icon inside it. To do this, we'll select a relevant icon from the box icons library and place it directly within the label tag. Now that we've created our toggle button, it's time to add the navigation links. After closing the label tag, we'll add an unordered list with the class navbar. This UL element will contain all our navigation links. Each navigation item will be an LI tag with the class menu-item. Inside each LI, we'll include an anchor tag with the class menu-link. Now, to add more navigation links to our website, we can simply duplicate this list item structure within the UL. For each new link, we'll update its corresponding text only. With this, we've completed the HTML structure for the navigation links on our website. Now, let's move on to styling our website. First, we'll incorporate Google Fonts to style our text. Google Fonts provides a wide range of font options, and for this project, we'll use the Poppins font. We'll copy the embedded link from Google Fonts and paste it into our CSS file. Now let's set some global styles to keep everything consistent. We'll use the universal selector along with pseudo elements before and after. By setting box sizing to border box, we make sure padding and borders are included within the element size. Then, we'll remove any default browser margins and padding by setting both to 0. Following this, we will select the body tag and assign the font family as Poppins to ensure that the Poppins font is applied to the entire web page. We will also set the background color to dark gray. Next, we'll apply styles to the portfolio container class. We'll set its maximum width to 1070 pixels, with the top and bottom margins set to 0 and the left and right margin set to auto to center the container horizontally. The top and bottom padding will be set to 0, while the left and right padding will be 15 pixels. Now that you have everything set up, next we will proceed with styling the navigation bar. We'll style the nav tag with 1 rim padding on the top and bottom, and 0 on the sides for proper spacing. For the wrapper element with the class main nav, we'll set its position to relative and display to flex. To vertically center the items, we'll use Align Items Center. Lastly, justify content space between will create space between the flex items. Now let's style the logo in our navbar. We'll set its font size to 1.4 em, make it bold with a font weight of 800, and change its color to white. Next, to enable the navbar toggle functionality, we'll start by hiding the checkbox input used for toggling. By setting its display property to none, we ensure it doesn't appear on the screen. Now that checkbox is hidden, we'll style the label associated with our checkbox toggle using the class toggler open. We'll set its font size to 1.5 rem, display it as a block element, and make it interactive with the cursor pointer. Finally, we'll set the color to white. With this, we've styled our toggle button. Next, we'll ensure the navigation bar is hidden by default by targeting the UL element with the class navbar and setting its display to none. To ensure the toggle functionality works seamlessly on mobile devices, we'll style the navigation bar to appear only when the checkbox is checked. Using the sibling combinator, we'll target the navbar class. When the user clicks the toggle button, we'll set the navbar's display property to block, making it visible. We'll position it absolutely and set the z-index to 1000 to ensure the navbar stays above other elements on the page. The background will be a light gray with some transparency, and the navbar will span the entire screen. We'll set the left property to 0 pixels and the top property to 60 pixels to position it just below the header. Finally, the padding on all sides will be set to 1 rem. With this, we have successfully achieved the toggle functionality of the navbar on mobile devices. Now, we can proceed with styling the navigation links. First, we will style the navigation item with the class menu item. We will set the padding on the top and bottom to 10 pixels, while the left and right padding will be set to 0. Similarly, the navigation link with the class menu link will have a black color and a font weight of 600. Now that we've completed some basic styling and the navigation bar, let's move on to creating the intro section. Our intro section will be minimalist, featuring a brief introduction about yourself and your image. To create this, we'll use a section tag with the ID set to About. Inside the section tag, we'll add a div with the class portfolio container. Within this, we'll include another div with the class's portfolio row and about content to wrap the introduction content and image. Next, to wrap our basic introduction and social links, we'll create another div with the class about intro. Inside this div, we'll add another div with the class about text. This will contain all the introductory details about you. I will be using h1 tag for greetings. Likewise, h3 tag for the profession. Finally, p tag to describe yourself briefly, like a short bio. Now that we've added the basic introductory details, let's move on to adding social icons for your website. After closing the div with the class about text, we'll create an unordered list with the class social icons. Inside this UL tag, each social icon will be placed within a list item with the class social item. Next, within each list item, we'll add an anchor tag that links to your social media profiles. For the icons, simply grab the relevant ones from Box Icon Library and place them inside the anchor tags. And that's it. You've successfully added social links to your website. Finally, we just need to add an image to complete your website. After closing the div with the class about intro, create another div with the class about image. Inside this div, use an image tag to add your image. For this project, I've already set up an image inside the directory. For the image, I suggest making sure that the height and width are the same. Now that we've completed the HTML for our intro section, let's move on to adding styles to it. First, let's target the section tag with the ID About. We'll add some padding to the top to create spacing above the section. Next, let's style the portfolio row class, which acts as the wrapper for the introduction and image section. First, we'll set its display property to flex, enabling its child elements to utilize flex box properties. Then, we'll set flex wrap to wrap. Similarly, to vertically center the elements within our intro section, we'll style the About content class by setting the Align Items property to center. Moving on, we'll style the About Intro class, which contains introductory text and social links. We'll set the top and bottom margins to 3 rm and the left and right margins to 0. The width will be set to 100% to ensure it spans the full width of its container. To make sure the element appears after the image, we'll set the order property to 2. Finally, we'll center the text content using the Text Along property set to center. Then we'll style the Heading 3 tag within the class About text. We'll set its color to white and add 10 pixels of space to the bottom using the Margin Bottom property. Next, we will proceed with styling the image. First, we will target the image tag. We will use the Width 100% property to ensure the image occupies the entire container. Additionally, we will use the Object Fit Cover property to scale the image to cover the entire container area while maintaining its aspect ratio. Finally, we will use the Vertical Align Middle property to align the image vertically in the center of the container. Now, let's add some animated styling to our image. First, we'll target the About Image class. We'll set its width to 100%, making the image span the full width of its container. To ensure the image appears before the intro text, we'll set the order property to 1. For a smooth effect, we'll apply a transition duration of 0.4 seconds, allowing the image to animate smoothly. When hovered, we'll change the cursor to a pointer, signaling interactivity. To give our image a perfect circular shape, we'll set the border radius to 50 rem. Next, we'll enhance the image with a linear gradient background that moves from a light blue to a vibrant purple, creating a visually appealing color effect. We'll also add 0.7 rem of padding to create some space around the image. Finally, to make the image really pop, we'll apply a soft drop shadow, giving it depth and emphasis on the page. With this, we have created the circular animated styling for our image. Next, we will target the image within the div with the class About Image. Here, we will ensure that the image has a circular shape by setting its border radius to 50 rem. Finally, for the hover effect on the image, we will target the div with the class About Image in its hovered state. We will make the image move slightly upwards using the Transform Translate Y property. With this, we have completed styling the intro and image sections. Next, we will proceed with styling the social icons. For styling the social icons, we will target the list item with the class Social Item. We will set its display property to inline block to arrange the social icons in a single line. Additionally, we will add spacing on top by setting the margin top property to 0.7 rem. Now that we have aligned our social icons in a single line, we will add spacing to the right side of each icon, except for the last one. Using CSS pseudo-classes, we will target the social item class and apply a margin right of 0.5 rem to all except the last element. Finally, we need to style the social icons. First, we will set their width and height to 3 rem. The color will be white and the font size will be 1.1 rem. We'll use Display Flex to align the elements, centering them both horizontally and vertically by setting Justify Content and Align Items to center. Lastly, we will apply a light black transparent background color. With this, we've completed styling our portfolio website. The final step is to make it responsive. This means ensuring that our website adapts beautifully to any screen size. For our responsive design, we'll use CSS media queries. Media queries allow us to apply specific styles based on the size of the screen. In this case, we'll target screens larger than 992 pixels. Within this media query, let's start by styling the heading 1 tag. We'll increase its font size to 4 rem. Next, we'll hide the toggle button on larger screens since it's not needed. To do this, we'll set the display property of the class toggler open to none. Similarly, we'll style the navigation bar for larger screens. We'll set the display property of the navbar class to flex to align the navigation links horizontally. Additionally, we'll add a gap of 1 rem between the links. Next, we'll style the navigation links. We'll set their font size to 1.125 rem and change their color to white. Moving on, let's style the section tag with the ID About. We'll set the padding to 100 pixels for the top and bottom, and 0 for the left and right. Now, let's style the intro section by targeting the About Intro class. We'll adjust its width to 60% for better spacing on larger screens. Next, we'll remove any margin from all sides. The order will be set to 1, ensuring it displays before the image. Finally, we'll unset the text-along property previously centered. Next, we'll style the P tag within the About Intro class. We'll set its padding right to 16%, adding extra spacing on the right side. Finally, for the responsive design, we'll target the About Image class. We'll set its width to 40% and adjust the order to 2, ensuring it displays after the intro text. With the styling of our image section for responsive design, we've reached the end of this video. In this tutorial, we created a simple portfolio website using only HTML and CSS. If you'd like to see other parts of this website or have any suggestions, feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.